So in this quick video, we get to do something I've always wanted to try. I mean,
this rug I have
what else can I say but
really tied the room together.
we bought this when we moved into the house 3 years ago. It's been in the kids' room and it's just getting the snot beat out of it. I mean, look at the foot traffic. But still,
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
indeed it did. But of course, here's the rules for today's game. Must be borderline low effort today. Cannot take more than an hour to try to clean this rug, and we're going to use a cheap entry-level pressure washer. No fancy equipment. In fact, we're only going to use cold water, no heated water whatsoever. No soap, no scrubbing, and of course, air dry only. There is nothing professional about this. Let's go ahead and just clean off the porch and get right to it. Now, this rug was going to go to donation, but I figured maybe we'd reuse it for something else. So I was curious, what would it be like if we just go ahead and pressure wash this thing with the cheap pressure washer that we have sitting out in the carport? And that's exactly what we're going to do. No frills, no bells, nothing fancy, nobody to impress, no big setup, no fancy squeegee or googly eyeballs on some rug cleaner. Just a cheap pressure washer and some cold water. Let's go. Now you can see how nasty and beat down the middle of this rug is. It's a pretty cheap rug, and I don't think we'll ever quite get the texture back. But man, it's so matted down and dirty, at least maybe we can get some of the color back. And like you can see, we already kind of are. Give you a little split screen there to see what we're working with. A couple suds coming out there, probably from a spot treat in the past, but like I said, no soap on this one. Obviously, there is no question whatsoever. The dirt's coming out. It ain't perfect. I could probably soap this thing up and really go for it and have to do a lot less pressure washing. But that's not what we're doing today. So if you look at what we started with, that's pretty gross and not very well defined. We're getting a lot of the pattern back in the middle, not too bad. So now what we're going to do is flip this thing over so we can blow a lot of the dust out from the backing back up through the fibers. Instead of just pushing dirt deeper into the fibers, we want to try to push it back out. But I make my first fatal mistake. I wanted to see how aggressive could we go, and I put on that pressure tip. It was just far too aggressive, and it started blowing the yarn out of the backer of the rug like you can see. So, cheap rug, we're doing damage now, and that's not what I wanted. But this was just an experiment to see if we could. So what I would tell you is this: stick to standard spray nozzles. So we get going on it, and look, you can see all that filth that was pushing down through the backer mat. I'm pushing it right back up through the fibers. That's really cleaning it up too. And this is a pretty fast process doing it from here. In fact, it's already about time to roll it over after one more quick rinse. I'm going to progressively just turn it over a little at a time and work it a little at a time. That way I'm not blowing all this dirt back underneath it again and having it trapped under the whole rug. I can work about a foot at a time and blow it off the edge. So that's what I'm doing. And finally, time to go across the entire rug one more time just to rinse a little bit out. And I think that's about as much as we're going to do here. I'm into it for about 45 minutes, and that's close enough to an hour for me. Like you can see, getting that last spray off there. We got a lot of good definition in that pattern in the middle again. It's not looking horrible. Not perfect, still really beat up. It's a cheap rug. Now I don't want it air drying for days, I want it to air dry overnight, so I'm going to do the old lumberjack roll and kind of tightrope walk across this thing. And I'm using the leaf blower to blow out the water that squishes out of it. That way I'm not just squishing it into a pool, and when I step off of it, it reabsorbs it. I'm trying to push away what's coming out of it. And as you can see, quite a bit's coming out of it. So I'm going to do as much as I can to squish it just with my own body weight, which is a pretty good squish. Well, finally it's time to set out anything I can find that I can lay this over and just lay it out to dry and kind of let it go for the night. You know, that's as good as we can do. I don't want to leave it on the ground to dry because it won't. I don't want to put it in the yard because it'll get it dirty. I don't want to put it on the driveway because it's got oil spots. So this is going to be the best we can do. I'm kind of worried about it drying up hard and wrinkly, but at the end of the day, it's still better than it going to donation. So, to me, it's a free rug at this point, and I just have to let it take its time to drip dry the rest of what's in it. And this rug's pretty lucky because it got to dry underneath some pretty beautiful auroras that we saw out here in eastern Tennessee that night. Nice rare occasion. Well, here's the results. Not bad for a rinsing. Is it perfect? Nah, the middle's still beaten down. Cheap rug after all. But look at the top and the bottom. Pretty big difference. Pretty good little rinse out. Of course, there's where the backer got blown out by that heavy pressure tip, so be careful. Don't wash a rug you care about. Or do. Do whatever you want. It's your rug. But anyway, that's the end of the video. That's the results. Cold pressure wash. No big deal. I think I'll put it under the drum set. If you like this content, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.